Your media, where you are.
Hi guys, welcome to another amazing episode of On the Flipside. My name is Lebo Moemise. Thank you so much for joining us. Before we start today's show, I'd like to send a special shout out to my UK peeps. So it came across to me, or rather communication came to me from them specifically, that they've watched the episode from the UK. So my first episode that is on our platform, which is www.she24.co.za, was watched by 3 of my favorite people in the UK. So special shout out to Noreen, to Ori, and to Tabiso. Thank you guys so much for your support and for actually watching the show and the episode. There's a lot more episodes to come, and literally we are trying to become international, right? Like, I think it only makes sense that we are international because we are of international standards. So moving on to today, I'm really excited to speak to the person I'm going to speak to today. I've literally known her for years. We're going to be speaking about something that she holds very close to heart, that she's very passionate about. And I'm really excited to get into this conversation. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the beautiful, you'll see she is gorgeous, Naledi. Hi, Naledi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Wow, we don't usually do this, but welcome to On the Flip Side.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Like, I've been waiting for this.
Have you?
Yep.
I'm so happy to have you here because I think today, I mean, even though I've known you for 20 years, right? I think what we're going to talk about today is something that I've never associated with you. I've never labeled you as. I've never, because the thing is, we are family. So when I look at you, I see a sister. I don't see anything else. I just see my sister. She's gorgeous.
Baby sister.
Who is just gorgeous. But I think, as we grow up, and that's also the purpose of the show, right? Where we basically are saying, we are flipping our idea of things that we've had simply because of the fact that we are growing. Like your 20-year-old or teenager-year-old self is not the same as who you are, the young woman that you are here. Your belief systems and the things that you used to believe in are changing as you grow, simply because of the fact that you are gaining more experience, right? Am I right?
No, you're right.
So I think that's the purpose of the show. We basically are staying on the flip side because we are flipping the conversation that either we never had, or we are just flipping the kind of beliefs that we actually have now that we are older. So today we're going to be talking about you and being a BBW. So I mean, yes, I've known you for 20 years. And I don't know, do you want me to refer to you as a big girl? Do you want me to refer to you as a thick girl? Like, what is the terminology that you would like me to use?
So many people get offended if you're going to say a big girl. But then that's what I am. I am a big girl. I am a thick girl. And nothing can change that. So either way, for me.
Works for you.
Yeah.
So you've been a big girl all your life. It's not like you were an adult and you started blowing up in your teenagers. Like, even from the time you were a baby.
Yeah.
You've always been a big girl. When you were younger, like your younger self, when you're looking at all the other kids, did you feel some type of way looking so different to them?
Honestly, I'd say only now have I started embracing it as I was getting older. But then the younger me always just felt so different. Because, I mean, you know how when we were growing up, there was those songs that would make up, those type of things. I mean, my whole, from being a little kid, it was always that. Whenever we'd have to pick teams, nobody would pick you because you're fat. I mean, obviously, you can't run as fast. You can't do any of that. So, obviously, growing up, I totally hated it. It was never fun. It was honestly never fun for me. From a really young age, from crash, primary school was even worse because, I mean, that's where you come across a whole lot of people that all just have different opinions about you and all of that.
And so was it difficult for you to actually make friends when you were still young because of your weight? Did you feel like that was the energy you were receiving at that point in time?
Yeah, I would say, because maybe I'd be friends with a person for a short while and eventually I'll just feel so uncomfortable with this person because they're always making remarks about my weight or they always have something else to say about it. So luckily, as when you're a kid, I mean, would say our parents made our friends first. So eventually, if you came over to see my mom or whatever, your child automatically becomes my friend. And luckily that helped because we all ended up in the same schools and all of that. So that helped me. I didn't really make friends on my own, honestly.
Oh, so you couldn't make friends on your own.
No,
It was just one of those struggling things for you. Has there been anything that was like so heartbreaking that you experienced from your friends in your childhood relating to your weight?
A lot.
Do you mind sharing some
lot,
of them?
Actually, I've had many issues where I wouldn't like. Okay, let's say in primary school and all of that, like, you know how would always, as a group of friends, would all decide that, okay, it's Civies Day, so we're wearing this and that. But then all of a sudden on the day before, things would change and I'd come there wearing something totally different because it'd say, no, it wouldn't suit you. Don't forget that you're fat. So what we're wearing wouldn't look nice on you. Wow. You know, that type of thing. Would go to camps and, I mean, obviously I should be in the same team with my friends. We're supposed to be together and all of that. But then they say, no, Naledi, you're going to finish our food. You're going to do this. You can't be our friend, you know. So I honestly, there were just quite a whole lot of moments. A lot. Sometimes I wouldn't be invited anyway because I mean, you're fat. You're not pretty enough.
Was that
I've
really
had
what
that
was,
a lot.
Was that really what was being said?
It was being
and
said.
how old were you at this?
It honestly started when I was in primary school, so it like really messed me up a lot because it started like, okay, obviously we started seeing such things from grade 4. I'd say I was like, what, 10, 9, 10.
10.
Yeah. That's when it started. I would deal with a lot from my friends. It would be the same friends that would go and write in the bathrooms about me, about how I'm fat and how I look like a monkey. You know, those type of things.
That's insane.
I dealt with a lot.
And the reason why I'm asking for age is because you do know now that kids are becoming more brutal, right?
Yeah.
Like kids are becoming so vulgar and so straightforward that they literally don't censor their feelings.
Yeah.
So it doesn't actually, you know, usually back then, I mean, you saying 10, but we could find a situation where there's the same girl who was just like you, but is experiencing exactly what you're experiencing at age 6 and even 5. Already. That's insane.
Yeah. So.
And even during that time, did it affect how you saw yourself? So when you're hearing these things that are being said by your so-called friends, how did that affect how you saw yourself? Like when you looked at the mirror, knowing very well that things like, you know, finish our food and you look like a monkey are ringing in your head, because the truth is that they were. Like, it honestly, it was really bad for me. I won't lie, because
another thing that honestly, I was a child of Koskolong. I wouldn't take a lunchbox. I'd buy food at school. So now it would be a thing of I had to hide, you know, what I'd be buying. So maybe I'd probably like get myself like maybe an apple and juice or something. But then I'd be so hungry. So in between classes, I'll try to sneak out and go to the tuck shop and find something that would really make me full. Like that happened. I also had an issue where I was in primary school and there was a weight loss challenge for the teachers. And the ladies at the tuck shop were like to me, no, it was actually a teacher firstly, my arts and culture teacher then. She's like, no, you need to join this challenge. You need it more than we do. So we'll speak to the people at the tuck shop and they'll prepare your lunch the way they prepare ours. And we're going to make sure that you're not buying what everyone else is buying. So also that now I had to ask my parents for more money and say, no, now I have to eat like this. And it's not the same amount as other kids' lunch and all of that. But then obviously my parents didn't get it. My parents were just very busy by then. So they didn't have the time to sit down and ask, why are you suddenly changing what you're eating?
Yeah.
You know? So it was a thing where I was the only student. And there was this Biggest Loser challenge here, the teachers. But then I had to take part in it.
And that was actually going to be my next question, to say, did you actually feel something from the teachers as well? Because I mean, the school environment consists of teachers.
Yeah,
so
I did a lot. Like there was a time when, okay, this was in grade 8 though. I was in grade 8 or 9, somewhere there. I had a teacher. I was literally walking in from class and everyone was sitting down, so I'd gone to the toilet. And in front of the whole class, she's like, oh no, Naledi, you're becoming too fat now. You're even breaking the floors. And it literally just ruined everything for me. And by the time my dad came to come fetch me after school, I was still in tears. Like I was still crying.
So are you saying to a certain extent that being in that school environment where it's actually supposed to be safe, where you're actually supposed to have a safe learning environment, that you were kind of robbed off of that? Do you think that your attention wasn't as much as it was supposed to have been for your education because you had to deal with so many other things?
I honestly think so, because such things, I mean, school is supposed to be something fun and something you look forward to because of the people you have to deal with it. But then I couldn't, I didn't look forward to anything, because if it's not the teacher. And it honestly changed because I would be sitting in that lesson, it was Afrikaans, and I'd be sitting in there, and every time this teacher would speak, I'd think of what she's saying. I would even be afraid to answer. I mean, Afrikaans was my strongest subject, but then it sort of changed after that, because I'd also be afraid to just put my hand up and answer a question, because I'm like, okay,
you're basically putting the spotlight on you at that point.
Yes, now I'm putting the spotlight on me, and I don't know what you're going to say this time around. So these are the type of things where, I mean, I was great at sports.
Yeah.
I loved netball and all of that. But then sometimes I'd be so discouraged to okay, now I have to put my netball kit on. Someone's probably going to speak about my thighs. Someone's going to speak about... And I was a really good netball player. So now those type of things changed for me. I stopped taking part in sports. I would also say that academic-wise, it sort of dropped, because I'd spend more time researching on how to lose weight than actually focusing on my studies. Sometimes I wouldn't be able to focus in class, because I'd have moments where, I mean, now I'm starving myself. I'm so afraid to eat.
Goodness.
Because now someone else is going to say something about my eating habits. I'd be afraid to eat. I'd have headaches. I'd be so weak, because I'm used to eating. But then now I'm not anymore, because of... now who's gonna say what, So I think I've also, well, not anymore, but then when I was in high school, I dealt with a lot of eating disorders, because now I'm hiding my eating. It's either I'll binge eat,
I'm not
eating at all. I'm learning about a method of that. If you swallow cotton balls, you won't be hungry, and that almost got me really sick. So those are the type of things that really mess you up.
What's so interesting is that I've known you for 20 years, but I've never heard you speak about this.
It's honestly not easy to speak out about such things, So obviously if someone's gonna say something, you'll be upset for that moment. And also, I mean, once you start realizing that, okay, no, maybe I do have an issue, maybe I am too fat, instead of me saying, I don't like what you're saying, it's built in my mind that, okay, no, she's right, she's just saying what she sees. So you have to stop doing this and that and that. And life just goes on.
And I think the reason why I'm saying we've never actually had this conversation is because I was alluding to earlier that me and you are practically family now. Our mothers are best friends. I've known your sister literally for 20 years as well, because that's how I was introduced to you and your family. So we've known each other. We don't even live that far from each other either. So we literally are family. And I think when you are family with someone, even though we probably would have noticed, and I know that it wasn't a blind side for me to say I didn't know that you probably were going through this, but my role for you was to basically just make sure that you felt comfortable and that you were loved, and that was the kind of space that I was creating, even though I didn't know what you were going through, or I was too scared to engage that conversation with you, because I didn't want to make you feel uncomfortable. And that's basically taking us to our next point. In your family, and I know your family, I know all of them. Well, not all, but all of them. Has anybody made you feel uncomfortable?
I think it's more family than strangers and everything else. Hey?
Really?
Honestly. And I mean, I've got a sister, a hot sister.
Yeah.
So...
and she's always been hot.
So, guys, it was very difficult. It was just very difficult, where we'd be going to family, and everyone would say, no, we want to take a picture with Letabo first. And then after, when they died, no, come into the picture. Always happens. And you always wonder, okay, why? And then they'll say, no, I bought this for your sister because we definitely couldn't find it in your size. Those are the type of things where, this time we had my aunt's funeral, and the others, my mom and my aunt and all that, were gone shopping. So my aunt was the one that was buying the clothes. She's like, no, I couldn't waste my money buying you Go Forever New because I don't know the size anyway. So I just went and I got you something, but then I hope you'll be able to wear it. Okay, whatever. So that is something that I've gotten used to, where the family will always complain. Like, I would be, number one, you're visiting my house, and then you see me making food, and then you say I'm finishing the grocery. How? Like,
What?
you come, most one thing, and then you're gonna come tell me what kifeta di jota, my mom. What do you mean? But then I've avoided visiting family members a lot. I've avoided visiting people in general because, I mean, I wouldn't say I eat a lot, but then, I mean, I've got an appetite. I like nibbling on things.
Yes.
So now
Yes.
I feel like, also because I'm just big. I mean, if it was somebody skinny, they would say, "Hi, Mara, at least watch, I eat." But then because I'm fat, you can say, "I went off at Jojo." So for me, that has always been a problem. And I mean, I've also had I was in grade 8 or 9, and my mom went out to the Glen to go buy me jeans. I was supposed to wear them to school the next day, and they just didn't fit me. And she threw a whole tantrum about it.
Why?
Like, she just threw it. She's like, "Hi, man, you eat too much." Whatnot. And I was very upset. I think I cried that night. I cried all the way to school. I remember my dad wasn't home, so she had to give me I didn't even go fetch my lunch money that day because I'm like, yo, she's probably gonna say I'm fat. I'm eating too much. So I left the money. And then when I got to school, got break, the security called me. They're like, "No, your mom came and she dropped off money. And she even dropped off more money than Eki Kerang." So I'm like, okay, must I buy extra food now? I don't understand. Like, is she trying to make up for what she said? But then, and it's just how all these things happen. And, especially in us black families, we can't speak. Like, I'll say, "But I don't like what you're saying." And they'll say, "No, Watella," that type of thing. To this day, I still have those moments. There was a time when we were in Durban. I was 14. Yeah, I was 14. We were gone to Durban. And we were going to the beach. And obviously I was wearing a swimming costume and just a skirt over it because I always had an issue that, okay, my thighs are too big and all of that. My sister was wearing a swimming costume properly on its own and all of that. And some lady was like, "I see, now was too like a cool, humble, fight tight." I would expect my mom to say, "Excuse me, what?" But then mom's like, "No, Naledi, go back to the hotel and put your tights on. It doesn't look nice." I'm like, so literally, to this, such trips, I mean, you're supposed to be doing throwbacks, but I don't like them because I look like a grandmother. Like, tight. I'm only 14, but the tight, a swimming costume, So now sometimes I just feel like now I'm flexing. Like, I will wear that crop top because I'm at a point where I don't care, like, who's gonna say what. Like, a lot, family complains a lot. So, like, I'd be wearing something that's just backless, not revealing anything. But they say that, no, for milwaha wawaya para, like, go. And I always tell you that if I find it in my size at a shop, it means I'm supposed to wear it.
Absolutely.
Like, it's not that I went to go get it altered or anything. It's in my size. It fits me. So why can't I wear it?
I think the most interesting thing that you're mentioning is obviously what your mom is saying, and because I know your mom as well, right?
Yeah.
And I know that your mom I know your mom's love for me and my sister through the love that I saw give you and your sister.
Yeah.
But even in that, do you feel that somehow your mom did treat you differently because of your weight? Do you feel like she wasn't fully accepting of the fact that you were a big girl?
I wouldn't really...
Or it was just one of those, it was just very momentous things.
Yeah, I would say,
maybe she was annoyed.
I would say, guys, my mom has fed us, like, a lot. So, she can't really complain, guys. My mom feeds us a lot.
Guys,
like,
before you continue, can I please send a special shout out to Mama Tidi, right? Like, let me tell you guys about Mama Tidi and feeding us.
Yo.
Me and my sister used to go to their house a lot. Like, my sister was addicted more to their house than our own grandparents' house. We would get anything and everything and any time. Like, no month end at your house.
No.
Like, if we wanted McDonald's, Gary 17, like, we'd all be getting the meals we actually wanted. It wasn't a thing of bulk, KFC bucket or a share box or whatever. We actually got each and every individual. I mean, there was like, it's two of us, it's two of you, then there was the other kids and your cousins. And literally, when a lady says her mom feeds them, I believe it because I was also part of the eating of the feeding, because we were definitely fed.
So it's honestly a thing of, I think it was just, also the pressure of other people telling her that, no, man, your child is fat, like, do something. So it also frustrated. But then one thing I know is that you know, every Friday would be at the Glen, guys, would be eating like crazy all the time. And I also look at her grandkids, like literally her grandkids. By the time one are like 3 months already, like without a doubt. So there's no way this child is not going to be paying. Eat. Like we all just eat. Like people know that when they're at our house, you are going to eat. When you're hungry, you must eat. And she's always told us that. So I wouldn't say that it's something she had an issue with, but then I think it was more of how does everyone else see it? Okay. Because I'd also see with like the type of clothes she'd buy me. Like I'd see her, no man. People are, it's summer, I know, but I'm wearing this long skirt, there's a corduroy, some nasty looking jersey polo neckish top, because it's a thing, you
must cover up.
Yeah, I had to cover up, so, yeah.
And so with your dad and your other siblings, like, how was that? How has that experience been for you?
Yo, guys, with my other siblings, my sister never really made me feel anyhow. My brothers are my brothers, guys. Like, sure, like they'll just agree because I'm the youngest. So if I complain once,
things move.
Yeah. So, but with my sister as well, it has never been. I also think just with her, it was also a thing of her circle, her friends, and all of that. You know. So I also had my moments where she got along with my other cousin.
Okay.
You know, Tiamo. She always got along with her more. I'm like, but we're the same age. But then how is it that they get along? So I didn't really, only now I'll say I have a relationship with my sister, like now that we're way older, like,
yeah, and we're gonna get to that, right? Yeah. Because you guys are like super close now.
So then I always wonder, but how, why am I getting left behind? They're going, like they'll just walk out of the house and I wouldn't know, only for people to come back and they had so much fun. But I was like, okay, you're not, it's how it is. Should always choose to like do other things. And I'd say, okay, maybe it's because like they have like these cute bodies and all of that. So yeah, but then, and then with my dad, guys, if my dad hears you calling me fat, yo, I feel sorry for you. Because it goes back to that thing where my teacher said that, like, my dad walked in, he didn't care what was going on, he was like, listen, what did you say? Say it again. My child, say it again. My child is crying. The teacher walked to the car and she was like, Naledi, I'm so sorry about saying that. The next day, she did an apology, got assembly. She's like, Naledi, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to say that. And so, like, yeah, no, guys, not my dad.
I could believe that.
Not my dad.
Okay. So, it's interesting that you speak about your dad because I would believe what you're saying. I know your dad. Guys, Naledi's dad is so scary. Like, he doesn't even have to say a word. Like, you walk in the house and you find him there, you're like, Tumelang. You just leave. Like, I think in the 20 years, I probably had a conversation with your dad, like, I can count it on my hands because I'm so freaked out about your dad. So I can imagine that teacher was, like, freaking out.
Yeah, no, she was.
And not because your dad, because so the one thing I definitely know, your dad is not a violent man.
Not at all.
He's not a violent man. So it's not a thing of he was going to go to the school and be violent with the teachers or anything. It was just a matter of the way he is. You just automatically respect it.
Yeah.
Like there's a level of respect and fear. It's a very tricky balance when it comes to your dad. But like, I can imagine that the teacher felt that way and wanted to apologize immediately.
Yeah, so... Like my dad, guys. Like to this day, everywhere he goes, like I'd be chilling with people who's like, yo, Naledi, Papa, how sharp.
Yeah, like
how, guys,
yeah.
Like how?
Yeah, me
so
too.
that happens like a lot. As soon as my dad walks in, like everything just changes. I'm like, but so guys, if you guys knew that, like I play with this man like the whole time.
And you guys do have a close relationship.
Yeah, so like even my siblings always say like when they need something, but man, like dude, you're the only person that can get through to that man. So just do the things. So
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, your dad, shout out to dad, buddy. Ooh, till today, guys, at my big age, I'm still scared of Naledi's dad. So if he watches this and I say the wrong thing, I'm scared to go back to the house. Hey. But like now, it's so interesting. So what have you received? So now we're moving from, family to society in general. What have you received? Has there been any different kind of energy received from society about your weight?
Yeah. So it's always a thing, people in some, what? You're actually this young. No, but your face is it, but then you know, that, especially from, I'd say, females. If anything I can say is, I'm very confident. Yes. So I'll wear what I want to. I have that walk. I'm not ashamed. I could walk around, come on, get in shorts and a crop, because it's what I wanted to wear. Yeah. And, you know, it will be those few man, but maybe I'll be few into my man, how about? I'm like, but then she's dressed the same, and you're not saying the same thing about her. So what's the issue? And then comes out as know what the, and I'm just genuinely asking. And then the only issue I'd say I have is the older men, whether when I'm all right, it means you can do this, this, and that. That became an issue for me. I think that just made me be very conscious. So maybe if Kiasamakari takes and all of that, I'll probably change when I get there. Just to avoid all the unnecessary comments from men. I mean, getting pulled to the side and all of that. That really annoys me. So, but then from society, I'd say now we can say that people are finally embracing big girls. Yeah. Like, people are finally becoming comfortable with the fact that big girls don't really care anymore. Like, you can say whatever, but then nothing's gonna change. So obviously growing up, it was a problem. Like, I couldn't have fun like other kids. I couldn't do a lot. Everything of mine was limited. I'd be afraid of, like, I would want to try, I want to go bungee jumping. I went, no, go rob a tapu. You know, that type of thing. I want to do this. I've always loved dancing, but then there was no. Some people would say, no, come dance for us, just to mock you. You know, I mean, this big girl is dancing so nice. They just want to mock you. It's not even a thing out of she's doing the right thing. Also, like, yeah, at gatherings, people say, no, lady, because why? You know, that type of thing.
That's so crazy. There's two things I actually want to ask you, and I had to write them down quickly before I forgot, right? So I want to start, because you alluded to it now, we're talking about older men and, you know, them saying, oh, you're my size, you are, or my whatever. Not to expose you, but you had a WhatsApp status, I think a couple of days ago, where you were basically saying how it's so interesting that even in a work environment, it's almost like big girls are treated differently. Yeah. You going out there, you looking for a job, you're trying to change employment, and now they're saying, oh, connections, but now connections want other things from you. So my question really is, do you think that it's a big girl thing because it's one of those things where in people's mind it comes across as if big girls can be taken advantage of?
Yes, actually. I think people just think that, I mean, you know how society standards of how a girl should be, and then there's us, you know. So people think maybe we don't have that confidence and we'll do anything just to be accepted. I've honestly had, I'd say my parents know people. But then, so obviously someone will say, no, Naledi, text this person, text that person. And in the beginning, I mean, the conversation would be fine. Listen, I'm looking for a job, so, I've got this, I've got that. And then, okay, Shap, I'll get back to you. Okay, no, I want us to meet. They'll say, no, can we please meet? But then when you look at the place where we're meeting, it's not in a public place. I'll come pick you up. We'll go to my house. Why? What am I going to go do at your house? Like, you know, I've honestly felt like I'd rather be sitting at home than for me to have to do such things for me to get a job. You ask a person for, I know this person has got the capacity to help me. Yeah. And me and this person have got a good relationship. We've known each other for so long. But then all of a sudden, now that I need help, I must request 11 to come see you because you need certain things. I must now send you my nudes. No, don't be afraid to show me those thighs. That's what I like. Like, what is that? What? So, like, honestly, that messes a lot up because I feel like other people don't deal with such things. Yeah. They don't. But then with us, they're even going to say, well, I know you're probably afraid of showing your love handles, but that's what I like. So, obviously, you're taking advantage of the fact that you probably think that I don't have that confidence and I'm just afraid. And I think that things aren't going well because of my size. Insane. So I've had that so many times. I actually was speaking to someone and he said the same thing. It's like, okay, so nako bonaning for ing. I've sent you everything you said I must send you. You said I should send you my CVs, my everything. So now why am I supposed to now come to your place?
That's insane.
That's insane. Like that, honestly, like just I just give it like it's okay, and it's other come blue tick or camo block at because I can't.
And it's interesting because I think it's probably like what you're saying. It's a little bit more extreme for the big girls because I mean, it's not that it's not happening to ordinary girls, right?
Yeah.
The fact that people want to take advantage of them. But I think there's an extra element of the fact that, like what you were saying, maybe you're not too confident or too self-aware that you think that they think that you're going to fall into the hole that they're creating simply because of the fact that you also might see yourself the way they see you, only for them to realize that you don't see yourself that way.
Yeah. So honestly, this also goes back to how so many big girls are tolerating nonsense because they think they can't get better.
Yeah.
So they settle for so much less in so many, like in their relationships, in their workplace, and all of that because they feel that, okay, once I walk out of here, I probably won't get anything else because I'm big, or you know, that type of thing. And I always got, like, I sometimes get like little event jobs and all that, and when I do that, I work harder than so many people just to show that, guys, as much as you're big, come on, you can do it twice as much as they think they do. So
that's very true. And then something interesting, so one of the popular shows, there's a series, they read, there's a book about it. I think I know. You definitely know the show. We're not gonna mention no names, but it's okay. I'm sure y'all know the show as well because this was something that was trending, on Twitter during the week, where basically in the book, this lady who's supposed to be the Stando Sentlizio, this Zulu man, was described to be a big girl. And underwhelmingly, and I'm saying underwhelmingly because Twitter was so harsh about, the reality of this show actually bringing a skinny girl, which is the direct opposite of the girl that they mentioned in the book. When you see things like that, how does that make you feel? Do you I know you did say that society's become more accepting, but is it really fully accepting if we are still going through this way? Basically, you're saying you're creating a series based on a book. The expectation is that you will cast people as per the description of the book. And now, for some odd reason, as casting people, producers, the creators of the show, whatever it is that they are called, you go for the direct opposite. How does that make you feel when you see something like that?
I actually have a lot to say about that, hey? Because I'm one of those few people that read this book then, 2017.
And you're a reader, by the way, so you read a lot of books.
So I was so excited when the third book came out, which is the season 3 of this show. Because I was like, finally, guys. Like, finally, we've got somebody representing us. And also, guys, we share a name, so...
Of course.
But then, like, do you understand, Hore, what we expected in the book? I feel like now when I'm going to watch season 3 of the show, it's not going to be the same. Because that book, guys, that book was amazing. Because it created this whole world in our minds. And even when you'd be reading, you'd be feeling that, okay, especially I related more to that book so much. Because her struggles in that book are our day-to-day struggles as big girls, So... now, all of a sudden, they're bringing South Africa's top model, how though? Like, I find it so unfair because it would have been, as much as they say they're trying to open up the industry and show us new faces, but then there's double standards to that. Like, why couldn't you there are so many big girls, so many influencers right now that have got the talent that could have done it. But then they didn't. So now I'm wondering, Kore, what are they trying to do? Like, I really don't like it. I'm not happy about it.
All right. So you were basically just talking about how, you were not happy. You were not happy about
honestly,
the casting because there's so many other girls that probably could have done,
there's a lot. Like, there's a lot. You know how...
You included?
Guys, come on, yes. Good vele, they shot like a complexion, but either way, I would have done it justice, yo.
Yeah.
So certain things, like, I just find that they're not opening up the industry like they're saying they should. Many people had the potential to play that role, and they were going to kill it without a doubt. So, but then obviously we can't fight them. They're already done shooting, so
and that's the
thing, and that's it. So. When it comes to big girls, guys, there's a lot. Now, I feel like big girls are killing it.
Oh, absolutely.
They are killing it.
Absolutely.
So, there's no way they can say that they couldn't find somebody for it.
And that's true. And I want to go into the killing part, right? Because now I think it's time for some positive vibes, guys. This is why we say this is the flip side. We are flipping it. Now, the positives about being a black girl. I mean, one of them being that black girls, like big girls, are killing it. How do you feel now? How do you feel about yourself? I mean, the one thing, I'm asking you the obvious questions, right? Because I know you, but for the sake of the viewers,
yeah.
How do you feel now about being a black girl? Take a black girl. About being a big girl.
No, being a black girl is a flex.
Black and big, yo.
It's
black
a flex.
And big.
So, guys, being a big girl is awesome. Like, now I literally, when I go buy a swimming costume, give out like 2-piece, give out a bikini. I'm tired of wearing 1-pieces. Like, that's what I want, and that's what I have fun in. When I go out, like, I'm wearing my shorts. Guys, we rock heels. Like, I think even better sometimes.
To be sure.
Like, guys, being a big black girl is a flex right now. And it's just so unfortunate that it takes so much for girls to actually realize that, no, man, I'm so good at this. Like, every time I post a picture, there's a new girl in my inbox. How do you do it? How do you do it? If anything, I'm just so glad that people draw inspiration from me. Yeah. A lot. Like, I literally have so many people on my WhatsApp always telling me that, how do you do this? I want to do this. I'm going, I need to wear this. And I'm always able to, no, wear this, wear it like that, because you're going there and it will suit you. Just be comfortable. I think the best thing you can do when you're a big girl is just be confident and comfortable. In all that you do, like, all the time. Don't show who you're uncomfortable. Like, I think that's the worst thing you can do, because that's when people take advantage of you. So for me, that's my biggest flex, guys. I'm just so glad people are able to come. Like, as soon as I post something, I know, like, I just post, guys. Like, so it's always so nice to have someone say, oh my God, you look so nice. Where did you get that? Where, guys, every shop caters for us now. China City now has our sizes. So it's honestly just so nice to walk into a shop and find something you like and it fits you perfectly. As much as we can try and say, no, small waist, what, guys, the waist trainer are tiring.
True.
Waist trainers are uncomfortable, they're tiring. True. You can't eat vegetables all day, every day. No, guys, like, some of us just enjoy waking up and making up an eggs and acha, and there's nothing wrong with that on that
Absolutely
day.
Not.
So, like, let's not hide. If anything now, I'm just so grateful that I don't hide anything. Like, I don't hide what I feel like eating, and when like, sometimes I can be coming from a party at like 3 a.m. Yo, guys, can you please go to McDonald's? Like, I really need nuggets. And guys, it happens, and it's honestly just so nice because nobody even complains. I'm so glad that now I've got a circle of people that genuinely love me and are just so comfortable. Like, you know,
talking about people that genuinely love you, there's a special somebody in your life. Oh no, blush. There's a special somebody in your life. And the smile says it all. The blushing says it all.
Why?
I've seen you guys interact. He absolutely is obsessed with you. He absolutely loves you. So was it an issue for him that you were big, or it's a non-factor? Like, for him, you are perfect exactly the way that you are.
He actually had an issue when I started saying I wanted to lose weight.
Oh, wow.
He was like, no, what? So, dude, like, you know. No, listen, I need to just a bit. Because, sometimes you'd say the pros is, sometimes, like, I'll just get, like, a bit sick and all of that. But then I would work my way back up. So, yeah, now with him, he's never had an issue with it. Like, he's the one that's always sending me cute outfits. Like, you know, these cute little skirts. Yo, baby, I can imagine you in this. You know, that type of thing. Mm-hmm. He prefers... It's actually so weird. Like, sometimes people think, oh, no, maybe I did something African element to this guy. Because he does not mind, like, saying, dude, I'm going to the shops because I saw these cute bras and I think you'd look so cute and they would sit so comfortably on you. So, like, I really love it. So, he doesn't have an issue. Like, he actually just... He's my cheerleader. Exactly. He is my cheerleader.
It is so heartwarming, and I think we can end on that cute little heartwarming note, right? The fact that you have people who actually don't care how about your weight or how you look. They genuinely just care about the person that you are and the heart that you have. And I can absolutely attest to this. You are one of the people in my space, in my circle, that without a shadow of doubt, I can confirm that you have the most beautiful heart. And I understand why he fell for you. And I'm crossing fingers because we were talking about weddings and getting married and whatever. And she's been posting, like, she's basically saying, can't wait for me. But I really can't wait for her as well, because you absolutely, after everything that you've been through, you absolutely deserve happiness. And I wish you all the happiness in the world.
Thank you.
And I can see
You
that you
know,
are
I
happy.
vent to you a lot. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know a lot, guys. So seeing you like this makes me absolutely so happy. And I wish you all the best with everything. But guys, I actually want to say something, right? Also, Naledi literally, her good heart is genuinely, like, it is a thing. Naledi does, for me, the things that I don't even think I would do. And in the next couple of episodes, you might see that I will be a little different, right? I might have 5D makeup. My wardrobe is gonna be like a notch higher. It's not just gonna be like, you know, simple and whatever. It's gonna be like proper. Just know that this is the queen behind all of that. Like, she really does way more things than her profession. She cooks. She even offers to cook for me, guys. Like, there's nothing that Naledi doesn't do. And it just also alludes to the fact that she has such a good heart. And because of that, I always wish her all of the best, because she absolutely deserves it. But honestly speaking, this conversation was absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. I mean, our coffees are cold though, like, because we were so invested in the conversation that we actually didn't even drink our coffees.
But guys, to say I help her this much, because guys, this person's stress is gonna kill her. And if that happens, we're not gonna have any flipsiding. We're not gonna have any of that. So guys, we just have to. And I'm really grateful for this opportunity.
She had to expose me. You had to
I
expose
had
me
to,
before you go.
So
Yeah, but guys, thank you so much for joining us for this episode. Please don't forget to go on our platform, www.she24.co.za. Watch this episode, but under this episode, there's a box where you can actually comment. Please share your comments about what you feel about this particular conversation that I had with Naledi. I know you probably will have a lot to say, so please go in there. We'll continue interacting with you. If you want to follow Naledi, she is on socials. What are your socials quickly?
Facebook is Naledi Mashego and Instagram is @Naledi Mashego. Yeah,
and that's about it. Yeah, and while you can follow this whole platform on Instagram on your media, on Instagram, so please just go there. But thank you so much again for joining us. See you next week with another fantastic guest and another fantastic episode from this gorgeous babe. Mwah! Adios, amigos!